Hi FlossTube friends, my name is Robin and this is my channel Lady Robins. Welcome. I am very happy to see all of you. In case you're new here, I am filming a floss tube, which is where I talk about my favorite hobby, cross stitch. So sit back, relax, enjoy yourself, get a beverage, pick up your stitching. We're just going to talk about what I've been up to over the last couple of weeks and do a little life update at the end, and that's where we're at. It is a beautifully warm day here. It's Thursday, and what is it, the 8th of August? The 8th of August, yeah. So I've been out bopping around already. I went for a walk this morning with my neighbor. We haven't done that in a long time. We need to get back onto that. So today was our kind of rededication of walking in the morning. We used to do it every day back when the kids were in elementary school and middle school, because we lived 3 blocks from those 2 schools, and I had a dog, and so we'd walk the dog. And anyway, when the kids got older and they didn't need us to walk them, that kind of dropped off, and we're like, you know what, we need to do this. So anyway, so I've been out on a walk. I've watered my garden, went and saw my parents, and now that I've had lunch, I got myself a little iced vanilla latte, and I thought, you know, it's a great time to film a floss tube. Now, as you'll notice, my hair's everywhere. I've got no makeup on. We're just going for it. It's just an all natural episode, and there's a bunny right outside my window. I can see his cute little ears. I know there's, you know, there's a bunny controversy. They're either friend or foe. In my yard, they're friend. I love seeing them. There's actually 2 that hang around in my yard, and I have, in the backyard, I have 5 blueberry bushes. I pick the high ones and I let the bunnies have the low ones. It just works out best. Oh my gosh, these just scurrying around. Oh, both of them are scurrying. Oh, how fun. Anyway, I figure, you know, they bring me joy. I'm happy to feed them. But luckily, they don't seem to be all that interested in my flowers. So I still have beautiful flowers back there, and they just help themselves to blueberries. So, all right. What have I been up to the last couple of weeks? I was consulting my book of days, and I've done a number of things. So I have a finish for you. So let me start with a fully finished object, an FFO. So I'm just going to be reaching to grab my stuff. Okay, you guys are going to laugh, but I finally finished my little Hello Spring pillow. This is a pattern by Brenda Gervais. I bought a kit. It came with everything. So it came with the linen and the flosses. It came with the backing fabric and the trim. So yeah, I just cut it. I think I gave myself like a 1-inch margin. I think that's what I did. And then when I sewed it, you know, I gave myself a 1/4 inch, and then I turned it. I stuffed it with polyfill. I like the lightness of it. I have a few things that I did with walnut shells, and I find that they kind of compact and sink, and so I'm not as thrilled with walnut shells, because I like them to kind of, I like the stuff to stay where I put it. So anyway, there's that. And then for the trim, I just glued it. I've tried in the past to hand stitch it. It does not work for me. It looks like it looks like the kindergarten Robin was doing it. So I'm just embracing the Aleene's tacky glue. So there's your fully finished object. Now, the other thing that I did, I'm going to reach back behind me, is this is half an FFO. So I've been digging around in my under the bed box, and I have quite a few things in there that need to be finished. And I just told myself, it's time. I want these things up on my wall. So what I have done on this is Redbird Sampler, also by, I guess also by Brenda Gervais. Can you sense a theme? I really like her stuff. Anyway, I just laced it onto acid-free mat board. And my husband is a wizard with making frames. So we go to Goodwill and we just hunt around and we just pick things up. So this is the frame he's going to resize down for me, and we're going to put Redbird Sampler into this frame. Let's see if I can, won't that be good? I think that'll be really good. So that's what he's going to resize. And so I usually lose about a quarter of an inch because there's a, they call it a rabbit as opposed to bunnies in the yard. So anyway, it's what the piece kind of rests in, and that's fine because then I'll have about an inch showing all the way around. So there's half an FFO. And then the last thing that I've been working on, and I thought, I didn't know if you'd be interested in seeing bits and pieces, but this is by Scarlet House. I finished this a long time ago. And so I've measured, and this is my mat board. I do put a little quilting batting on it to give it just a little, just a little loft. And then on this one, I want it really tight. So I haven't picked out the frame yet, but I'm sure I've got something in the garage. So I'm giving myself 3/4 of an inch all the way around. And so if the rabbit takes up a 1/4 of an inch, I'll just have a 1/2 an inch on all sides, which will be perfect. And so then what I'm going to do is I will run a basting stitch so that when I lace it onto here, I can make sure it's straight. So that's like, I don't know, is that like a 1/4 of an FFO? So I'm working on getting some things out from under the bed and up and displayed in my house. So there you go. So I don't feel like I have 2 FFOs. I think I have 1 3/4. So that's been super fun to brush those things off and just kind of think, okay, now's the time. So that's kind of where I'm at on working on finishes. In terms of whips, I've worked on a number of things since I saw you last, so I just thought I would drag them out and show you. So one of the things that I worked on is this chart, which is Friendship Blooms with these salt box houses. The only thing I've got done is just some flowers and the little urn that sits right here in the pattern between the 2 salt boxes. So yeah, anyway, yeah, there I am on that. So again, this is part of the A Little Help from Our Friends club kit. This comes from Silver Needle. You can see that down there. And I get a new club kit like every other month. So I'm just having a good time. So this is on 36 count. I think it's vintage country mocha, so I'm stitching it 1/2. So that is fun. And then I'm just trying to put it back in the bag so I don't get everything all mixed up. All right, the next thing that I worked on was Harbor Haven. So I think I got 2 days in on Harbor Haven. So I am working on chart number 5 of 12. And so let me show you where I got to on Harbor Haven. And I'm stitching this on 32 count weeks dye work fabric, and for the life of me I can't remember the name of it, even though I say it all the time. But if you need to know, shoot me a comment and I'll look it up for you. Okay, so here I am on chart number 5, and what I got done was I got a lot of this hillside filled in. I got the first little, well, I have the 2 egrets stitched, but this one you won't, he doesn't stand out very well until I get the water around him. And I started working on the tree that's on the side of the chart. Yeah. And then when I get to chart number 6, then the rest of the tree will be on chart number 6. So I'm just, you know, just plugging away at Harbor Haven. I love that stitch, but I am hoping to have all 6, or the first 6, finished by the end of the year. That's my goal for Harbor Haven. And I've been stitching on this for a couple of years, so I do want to get this one kind of, you know, back into the rotation so that it gets more love. And it would be great if I could get like through chart 10 next year, and then the following year do the last couple and then have it done. So there's Harbor Haven. And what did I stitch after that? Oh my goodness. You guys, I have a mess. I have a mess. I do not know what the problem with me and Ye Old Crow is, but Ye Old Crow and I are fighting again. I just wanted a quick stitch when I was watching Olympics, and so I've got all of the black finished on Ye Old Crow, and I was putting my big initials in, only to realize that this bit, so the year is down 1 row too many. So when I'm putting in my initials, they're touching. Gosh darn it. I don't know. I don't know how I did it, because the thing that's bugging me is when I looked at the chart for the placement for the year, it's right off the little tail feather of that crow, which is exactly what I did, right? But when I put in the letters, I'm wondering if this is 1 short. I don't know. Might be. So I'm thinking I'm just going to take my initials out and the date out and move them up a row, because there's room to do that. But yeah, this little thing should have been the quickest stitch ever. This is the second big frogging I've had to do on it, and it's just like, ugh, I just want to get it done, because once I get the black done, then all I've got to do is a couple of Smyrna crosses, and then I'm going to do the vines and the leaves in green, and it'll be done. I don't know. This guy's probably going in timeout until September. I'm like, there's other things I want to finish first, but I just thought I could knock it out while I was watching Olympics. Apparently the answer to that is no. Oh my goodness. All right, poor Ye Old Crow. A little timeout for that guy. Okay, so the next thing that I've worked on, I've just a little tiny bit this morning actually, is from the Stitching Book Club, Little Women. And I had put that on my WhipGo for, not my WhipGo, my Magazine Monthly challenge. I'd added that to that. So, I'm looking for the little cover printout for y'all. Is that it? Yeah. So there it is. So this is the Stitching Book Club. And I worked on finishing off the little trees that will be on either side of the big house in the middle. So, you know, I got those two done, and so then I'm gonna start working on this big house. And that's just typewriter stitching, right? There's just 3 different colors, and they make these different rows in the roof, and then the house is, you know, gray. So I was actually thinking maybe when I'm watching Olympics tonight, maybe I'll just start working on the roof of that house and get a little more project on Little Women by Stitching Book Club. And I forget half the time, you guys, to tell you what the flosses are and what the fabric is. If you need that information, again, put a comment in, you know, on the video, and I would be happy to send it to you. But 9 times out of 10, I'm using the called for flosses if I have them, and if, you know, if they're fancy flosses, and if I don't have them, then I just, you know, sub the DMC. So, okay, so there's that. And then I worked on the Satsuma Street Monster House Sal, and I'm having a good time, but boy, am I pokey. I haven't started section number 2, and section number 3 drops tomorrow. I never keep up with sales. I don't know. It, you know, I mean, I just stitch what I want to stitch, and that's okay, and I get there when I get there. So this is where I'm at on Monster House. So I'm just working on the little skeleton guy. I've got the peak of that little gazebo, I guess, or maybe it's the front door of a house. I don't quite. I mean, maybe it's the front door of the house, right? Because it's Monster House Sal. That might be it. So yeah, I've got. I still have quite a bit to do. But it's so pretty. Did I show you this last time? I think I might have showed you this last time. Look at this ring of flosses. That's all the floss colors she's using. These are all the DMCs for this amazing monster house. So anyway, how can I say no? Jody Rice is a mistress of color, and I'm here for it. Oh, and the other thing that I did do is my white is the glow-in-the-dark DMC. So that's fun. I've been having fun working with that. So there is where I'm at on Monster House Sal. So anyway, it's fun. I dig it. I dig it. All right. So the other thing that has been occupying my time is Cardinal points. So I now have everything in this band done. So I think when I was on the last video, I was working on the flowers in this urn. So I got all the flowers finished. I got the grapes, and then I got these 2 flowers done. So I got a lot done. So I just need to put in my personalization, and then the dragonflies in each corner. And so I have started one of the other dragonflies, and whew, those colors are amazing. So I am making excellent progress on Cardinal points. Now my original thought, because I want this done by the end of August, my original thought was trying to get it done in time for the fair. Not going to happen. We've got a couple of fun things planned for August, so there'll be a few days where I'll get no stitching done whatsoever. So the fair this year is a pipe dream that's not gonna materialize, but that's okay. I can submit it next year to the fair, because they do say on the fair submission form that it has to have been stitched within the last 2 years, so I can turn that in next year. It'll totally be done for next year. So what I'll tell you how I'm thinking about making sure I finish by the end of August. So Cardinal Points is sitting on my stitching chair. So I'll stitch Cardinal Points one day and then something else the next day, and then Cardinal Points and something else. So I pick up Cardinal Points every other day until it's finished. That's how I'm going to finish it by the end of August, and I think it's totally doable. I'm kind of digging it. So like today is not a Cardinal Points day, it's a do something else day. So I'm working on Little Women, but tomorrow is a Cardinal Points day. So I'll make more progress on the dragonflies in the corners. I don't know if that's a good plan, but it's my plan. I think it's okay. I did start something and I hate it. Not the pattern, my stitching. Let me show you. Okay, so I got my copy of Cross Stitch in the Forest by Pigeon Coop Designs, and I was just looking in my stash, and I was like, well, what do I have that I can stitch? So I can start a stitch, because Helen's doing the Pigeon Coop book Sal. She's got a hashtag and I can't remember what it is. And so I found this really pretty green in my stash. Look how pretty this is. This is I'll have to look at the tag. Anyway, this is Seraphim fabric. It's 32 count water spirit. Now I think this is really pretty. And so I thought, well, that would be an excellent background for Woodpecker at Work, because this is stitched on a light green Ada. And I'm like, well, I don't have an Ada, but I've got this 32 count. So I started working on it. Well, I don't know if it'll even show up, but those stitches are so uneven. I don't think this is all that floppy, but we all know white stitches are the hardest to get right. They just are. I don't know why it is. So I'm thinking, well, I think I'm gonna stop. I might have to hoop this to get those white stitches. And then I was like, well, there are things I want to stitch more than the woodpecker. So I am pivoting. And I'm gonna take those white stitches out, and I want to do this. I want to do fox and butterflies. And I think that this fabric would be an excellent background for fox and butterflies. So I am changing gears already. I'm going to do the fox. I'm going to sideline the woodpecker. But I do think that maybe this fabric is just a little too floppy. And so I think when I start fox and butterflies, I think I'm going to break out one of my Nerge hoops and stitch it in there and see if I get better stitches doing it that way. So anyway, there you have it. That is my slow start to Helen's Sal. So sorry, Helen, but I'll get there eventually. And I know you said there's like, a million things, or 22 in the book of 25 projects that you want to stitch. So, no rush, because you'll be stitching them for a while. So I'm there with you. I just have to pivot, and that's okay. We get to pivot. So there's that. I did have, beyond getting the Max Pigeon book, I did get one other chart, and I found it in a really, really unusual place. I went down to, if you're in the Pacific Northwest, if you're in the Washington State, Oregon area, there's a place in Olympia called Lost and Found Crafts. And I walked in there and they are carrying Robin Pickens, like 4 of her cross-stitch charts and her Christmas fabric. I'm like, oh my goodness. So I picked up her winter sampler, which I think is adorable. So I picked up that. The other thing that I picked up when I was at Lost and Found Crafts is a piece of fabric to do sashiko embroidery. So I'm really excited to try that. And then I picked up a couple of sashiko flosses. So that's my purchasing for the last couple of weeks. Try to keep it to a dull roar, right? What am I going to do for the next couple of weeks? Well, Cardinal points. I'm going to do my magazine monthly acrostic, and I am doing Whip Go. However, my Whip Go calls this time are easy peasy, because one of the calls was film a floss tube. Because when I made my board, I wasn't filming floss tubes very regularly, and so I was trying to motivate myself to kind of get back to doing regular floss tubes. And so I'm like, well, I'll knock that out. So I've got that. And then my other pick on WhipGo was organize my fabric stash, which I have done. So I've got both of my WhipGos out of the way, and it's only the 8th of August, and I'm feeling really good about that because it just opens up more stitching. So again, more time to work on Cardinal points. All right, that's pretty much it. In terms of life updates, I'm still reveling in being retired. I'm just goofing around. I did get together with some stitchy friends out at the cabin. That was delightful. This weekend, we're going to go up to Mount Rainier. There is a little steam train that leaves out of LB, Washington. And so we're going to take a steam train ride for about an hour and a half, and we're going to see beautiful scenery. So that's our big adventure for this upcoming weekend. And then the weekend after that, we're gonna have friends spend 3 days at the cabin with us. So I'm just totally reveling in having time to be with family and friends, which is exactly what I wanted. Speaking of friends, we have had a loss of a stitcher in the stitching community. Daleen Wilson, whose FlossTube channel, it's still up, is so grateful, S-E-W, grateful. And while I never had the opportunity to meet Daleen in person, I have to tell you, I felt the love through her floss tubes, and I, like others, am sad to hear of her passing and wish that at some point our path had crossed, because she sure seemed like a nice lady. And the crazy thing is, she lived like 4 towns over from me. Never felt compelled, to reach out and meet her. Not because I didn't think she would like me or I would like her. It was just like, oh, our paths will cross at some point. That's probably not the right attitude, right, friends? Yeah, if you've got somebody you'd like to meet, reach a hand out. Yeah, reach a hand out. So I'm sad to hear that that she's no longer with us. But anyway, my condolences to her family and her friends and people that knew her or people that knew of her and are hurting from her loss. So anyway, shout out to Daleen and all the people that loved her. So I'm thinking about you. All right. I I've got nothing left on my desk, so I think we've done the deed. I will insert a few pictures at the end of the video because I thought you might enjoy seeing the pictures of all of the goofy things that I've done since I've retired. So I think I'll add a few Lady Washington pictures and stitching up the cabin and all those fun things. All right, I hope you enjoy that. I hope you're having a good summer. It is still summer here. It's cracking me up. You guys are all talking about fall and fall decorating. In the Pacific Northwest, summer doesn't end until like the 23rd of September. So I feel like we've still got 6-7 weeks of summer left, and I'm not ready. I'm not ready to hear about fall. And if you show me a pumpkin spice latte, I'm gonna look the other way. All right, you guys, have a great rest of your summer, and I'll see you in a few weeks. Okay, stitch happy, my friends. Bye.